Hi, welcome back to the Dylan Rounds case coverage and the latest discussions as well. Welcome if you're currently here in the live premiere, I appreciate it. Today, what we're going to be going over is the latest post on the Find Dylan Rounds Facebook page. There are some new posts by Candice Cooley regarding Dylan Rounds. There's a few questions here and there about the court case date and other bits of information scattered about. We're going to be looking at it all, checking through the comments, see if there's anything of interest, any misinformation, any switching and changing, like how we've done in the past. As said, it has gone quiet in recent time regarding the Facebook page, but now I guess there's a surge of it once again, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to look for it bit by bit. It's all under control. As well, later on in this video, I'll be giving my final thoughts on the Salty3Pancak3s outburst, which some of you would have known and heard about and maybe even saw yourself in Who Is It Now channel. 28 days later, Alice in chains 28, whoever their username is, okay, inviting pancakes over, because obviously pancakes doesn't really have a leg to stand on at this moment in time. We're going to be getting into that, giving my final thoughts on that situation, because he has done a lot of this, okay? So we just assess the situation, give my thoughts, clear up more false accusations and misinformation and all that, just to set the record straight and keep it on a balance, right? More about that later. Make sure to stick around for that. And some other little bits and bobs we need to highlight as well, because a few extra conspiracies swimming about. But, you know, we'll get to that eventually. Also, as we do go along throughout this video, make sure to share your thoughts, your opinions and reactions in the live chat, top right corner of the screen. Feel free to use it. And of course, if you've got any questions or anything like that, list that down below in the comment section. Speaking of the comment section, if you haven't already checked out my previous earlier video, which I did today, or should I say uploaded tonight, was about Kenny Veach, the latest, strangest update around Kenny Veach and his Facebook activity. A missing person since 2014, went missing, supposedly hiking into the desert, some items retrieved, such as the phone near the mine shaft, and that's about it. Yet with time, there have been developments, and once again, more developments in recent time. If you want to hear more about that interesting, mysterious case, check the link down below, okay? I'll also provide some other additional links on the sideline if you wish to visit them. Shout out to Badger, of course, for supporting the channel with endless amounts of whips, okay? I know we need to focus on Dylan Rounds, but just to highlight very quickly, who the hell needs mods? Who the hell needs moderators when you have whippinators, right? Just patrolling the streets left, right and centre, deploying all those whip emojis all over the place, okay? And a form of control and stability, which is all good. I don't think Pancakes responded too well to the whip emojis in his chat previously, but then again, it's understandable. Those whips are knockoff ones. It wasn't the true whip of wrath. Obviously, you can't cross over badges and emojis into other channels because different channels, different memberships and all that stuff. Anyway, you get the picture. Let's put all that aside for now. What I want to start off with, to partially set the story following late into this video, because of the theme, we're going to look back at the previous comments to begin with right now, okay? I just want to do that to allow people to join on in so everyone's here all at once and can process the important information such as the Dylan Rounds discussion. If it's done too soon, people will join too late and, you know, there won't be the balance there of being all present at once to absorb it. Okay, hopefully you understand. We check the comments out, answer any questions if there is any key information popping out, right? No harm in doing that. and as well it might set the story for later on in this video. Let's head on over now to the comments and begin. Right, here we are. We'll just adjust the comments. Start from the bottom. We'll have one by Linda Cushing. Interesting info coming. Robert saying, I don't have a Facebook page, so I don't have access to Facebook. I only have access to YouTube. Fair enough. And this is the importance of both coverage on the Dylan Rounds case, but as well additional drama that might be going on elsewhere, such as with Pancakes and the threat levels there, right? Not everyone will have access to this and that. And because they don't have access, they won't hear about the latest news. Though, if there is someone present that can get a hold of that public information and pass it on and spread awareness, that what will be done. And that's what I try and do with time, okay? So hopefully it helps Robert in some way, talking about this stuff from the Facebook side. We got Cleekly. What time do your lives come on now? Well, it's around 8:50 p.m. UK time, but I just had to slightly adjust it for tonight because I had a video earlier and I wanted there to be an appropriate space between the two videos so it wasn't close together. I mean, maybe it could work in some way transitioning from one video to another, but then again, maybe not everyone's going to be notified or something, so it just works spacing it out, right? And I do it a bit earlier now because it's just a bit more practical for me, right? Anyway, what's the next comment? Indiana says, quoting, Stoney's back. Stoney's back is Stoney's new YouTube account, okay? The Stoney. The Stoney you've seen where she's popped on in, that one, okay? Recent time, if you remember me acknowledging it, Stoney's original account got taken down for whatever reason, and she created a new one, right? If you want a reference to the profile picture, Stoney's back profile picture is of a female exhaling smoke, but the smoke is in the shape of a ding-dong. So it's that illusion of, is it going into the person's mouth or coming out? You know, that type. Maybe I actually interpreted it the wrong way, but that's how it literally looks, visually speaking. But, you know, it is what it is. So Indiana quotes Stoney. Stoney said, can I get Indiana? She's a nothing. Lol. So most likely this was loosely messing about, but depending how you interpret it, is it a threat? Yes or no? If you don't know Stoney and what she's like, you may see it as a threat, right? But if you know her better, she could be messing about a little bit. You know, you just got to try and understand it. Anything else here? What's this? Okay, it's about Easter. Easter, a fowl. That's cute and special. I hope it makes it through. Okay, so we've got things being raised. Here we go. Blessings left, right, and centre. So if Stoney wants to provide a bit of context behind this comment, feel free to do so. But, you know, Indiana, people get a hold of Stoney. You know, I don't know. But getting a hold of Indiana is a different story, right? You might wonder, how? The height of Indiana, she can evade detection. She can evade being picked up, right? She can just scuttle around. And I don't mean scuttle in a rat, because that's an insult to rats. I mean, I'm only kidding. Just kidding. You know, I've got to be on somewhat good behaviour towards Indiana, considering Indiana has supported the GoFundMe for buying new pants. Very important, of course. But as well, Indiana does have a very long whip. Indiana Jones, right? You get on the wrong side of Indiana Jones, that whip is going to be wrapped around your limbs. You don't want that. Not at all. But let's just move on. Ronald Cully saying chop salty. Okay. Sketchy saying YouTube has gone crazy. It has to an extent. Legal saying you cannot say that till your breast have been shown on live without your consent. What? Who's been shoving their chest area on screen? I have no clue. But, I guess all kinds of random things happen. I've heard some people saying on other live shows, an image of the lower parts has popped up and flashed on screen randomly. I mean, one thing you got to acknowledge is if this level of dodgy behavior happens, maybe to some people it could be considered entertaining, for others exciting, funny, whatever. But if you're the YouTube channel owner and you invite some of these people onto your show, live stream, whatever, and they do stuff like that, that can negatively harm your own channel and you can get struck down, right? Going against TOS, inappropriate behavior, things on display that shouldn't be, right? So other people can actually drag you down just by appearing on the show. That's why someone like Jim Terry, Mr. X, sometimes is a little bit cautious as to who appears on the show or something, or how they may behave or what they may say, because, you don't want to be breaking the TOS or you get punished yourself and it's not really worth it, right? So you just got to be cautious at times. Do I think YouTube is crazy as a whole? No. Certain elements, yes. There'll always be drama sections and areas, but, I can understand if you're directly involved in the drama, it's not good, it's negative, it's bad. But if you're on the outside of it, you don't have the same feelings, right? You may see it as more just sit back, watch, and let it all happen. But when you're directly involved and you get dragged into it, or you have to put yourself in the position, different story. Robert saying one of Kurt's jobs is doing GPS survey on land sales in the area. Oh, okay. Interesting. One of Kurt's jobs. So how many jobs does Kurt Wadsworth have? And is this GPS survey on the land got anything to do with the fact that the business of Saddle Saw Bar and Cowboy Bar Grill aren't really doing much business anymore? Does anyone know? And just as like an update or a little correction, I am aware that from what the locals have said with time that Kurt Wadsworth doesn't own Saddle Saw Bar or Cowboy Bar and Grill, but he has worked there, right? So if he can't really work there because there's not much business, is that why he's doing other jobs in between? Does anyone know? Or has this just been a long-standing thing anyway in place? If anyone can back it up, feel free to do so. Is there any additional information regarding it? Feel free. But the fact where it says GPS survey on land sales, but only in that area, Montello. So I guess Kurt's not done surveys on land sales in Lucem. But the fact that, it's to do with area, ground, ownership, and you think of Dylan Rounds, buried on some land owned possibly by someone, any correlation there, any knowledge of where Dylan could be at? I don't know. I've heard people obviously say in the past that Kurt Wadsworth seems to know a lot and know where all these other people were, even if Kurt wasn't directly with them, right? And of course, sometimes when you know too much, it's like, what else do you know? And how do you know? And, you seem to be putting yourself into the frame, into the picture a little bit more. But arguably, people that may stay very quiet and keep their mouths shut, sometimes they can be accused of being suspicious as well, because it seems like they're hiding something, right? Different interpretations, of course. Just let me know your thoughts regarding Kurt Wadsworth and his survey job. Pack and go. Oh wow, get the water out, splash it around. Pack and go has changed back to the original username. Oh wow, Tara, keep that username. It's so much easier to refer to, right? Saying, Warlike Wrath, I am happy to have got to watch a full premiere from start to finish without distractions or drama. Thanks so much. Wait, hold on a minute. Pack and go. You were able to watch the whole video without any drama or distractions. And yet, the video, this one, which was a couple of days ago now, was during a night of full-on blown-out chaos and all kinds of wacky stuff going on in the background on other channels. Wow. Pack and go. pushing it to the maximum. I don't know how she managed to focus. Well done. Robert, once again, I still have a lawnmower including barcode. Okay? Well, it's a good thing you still own it and are in possession of it. At least Chase Venstra didn't try stealing it. Sage Valley, shout out to Sage Valley. It's very good of them. Andrew Culver, sorry I missed the live, but this is a great video. Shout out to Andrew. We got Long Larry Long Legs, saying drone footage could reveal a lot. True, I guess so. I mean, Mob Crew Chris has done his own drone footage in the past. Noticed a few things here and there, but they were debunked with time. Lance Kelly does have a drone himself, but he said he kind of lost it in one of the salt lakes and has to try and retrieve it. I don't know if he managed to do that yet or he's still waiting for the weather to improve. As for Heavy D and the crew, they used the drone in the past. He uploaded a bit of footage of it, more from their point of view when helping Ty and Lance at the time. Anyone else in between? Well, Candice Cooley and Texas Equisearch with their full spectral drone when they brought that in, but that was just more for taking photos, and I don't think that will be publicly released out, unfortunately. But yeah, I do understand drones being quite useful and effective because it covers a wide range, a good view, a good angle on stuff, visually, everything that's present and around, right? But I just don't think they're going to release it public because we're not seeing a great wealth of that drone footage, only from the odd YouTuber here and there. Joseph Lloyd saying, Raf, I can't tell you how much I love your ability to rise above all that BS. Your parents should be proud you are a stellar young man. So that's nice of Joseph to say. Appreciate that. We've got Autism Without Limits. Good morning, Wallite Raf. Sorry to see you get dragged into this bizarre YouTube drama in the true crime community. Salty Pancake sounds very delusional and unstable, lashing out and slandering anyone who does not accept his conspirational narratives. Dr. Grande shares some interesting perspectives on people who are deep into conspiracy theories. Link there. And do you know what the other good thing is? This time round, on this occasion, Autism Without Limits, they were able to successfully post a link in the comment section without YouTube taking it away. I am very surprised because YouTube just like really act out at times and are very strict when it comes to, I don't know, getting rid of linked comments, but it worked here, so that's good to see. As for that guy called Dr. Grande, he's that guy with that beard and the glasses and bit of a dodgy haircut, and he talks about different cases, people, serial killers, shooters, and everything else in between, looking into the mind of them, the background, what caused them to do it, how they act, how they think and react, and then other educational videos in general, psychology based. There are other people out there, general public, that believe his videos are not for the right reasons. I can't remember what the points or the arguments were raised, but, you know, some people don't approve of him and his coverage, but, you know, many others do, whether it be psychology students or anyone else just randomly interested in that sort of stuff and crime and understanding the brain. As for Salty Pancakes, yeah, you can infer a lot from him just by his behaviour, and we are going to address that later on in this video. So as I said, make sure to stick around for that. I'll be giving my thoughts and opinions. We got Linda Cushing saying in Utah, they signed it into law on March 28th, 2023. Internet harassing is against the law in Utah. Stalking, looking for people's information is also against the law in Utah. Okay, interesting. So that's really the case. Then you could argue Pancakes is breaking the law then. Sun says, Warlike Ref, response to the Chop Shop, I think you are on to something. So that's interesting to hear. Would have been nice if Ty Corbin was present to share his thoughts about the Chop Shop. But yeah, I think it was this video, this comment section video from the previous one, which I probably should try and link into the video anyway in the comment section. But basically the chop shop, yeah, where it's changing location, moving about, relocating, but not too far away, is kind of odd, kind of random too. Any links to Dylan Rounds, unknown, still a mystery. The odd person has been out there, looked about, it was abandoned there, it kind of was still spooky. I just, Ty Corbin, would he go down there? Has he been down there? Would he record it, document it? Or is it not worth it? Or is it too risky? I don't know. But, it'd be good to have more discussion points around the chop shop because it's not talked about enough, right? Create enough noise on the chop shop in Utah, east of Dylan's farm, and then maybe hopefully down the line, we may get a response. We may be able to debunk it or reinforce it, right? Or you just got to keep talking about it and, just spread the message about the place. Moving on, Jacqueline Rampley saying, could Dylan be buried under the ground where the chop shop now is? Old vehicles, etc. on top of him possibly. I mean, it's, I guess, a kind of a good idea in a way. I'm just thinking back in terms of satellite imagery, unless anyone can debunk it. In 2019, it was in its original spot. Before 2019, it didn't seem to exist, the chop shop in that area. After 2019, going into jumping ahead to 2022 and 2023, that's when the chop shop relocated to that other area. Now, my question is, what year, what date, what month did the chop shop actually move? Was it late 2019, 2020, 2021, or sometime in 2022, right? Because if it was moved beforehand, before Dylan went missing, then there's probably no link there as for burying him underneath all this stuff. But, if it's around the same time, then maybe you could establish some kind of links. Like, I can understand it though, right? You disturb the ground, uncover it, bury something, bury someone, fill it back in, and put objects over it. It's, it just kind of conceals it even more. It's already concealed the body, but having items on top of the land and items that could possibly cause soil disturbance anyway, just by resting where they are or being in use, it kind of brushes it aside, the suspicion of potential disturbance to the ground for criminal reasons. I can understand that. Let me know your thoughts in the chat to what you think. We can do a poll right now, okay? Bit of a sudden one, but just tying on with this discussion. Do you think Dylan Rounds is buried at or near / around the chop shop east of Dylan's farm? Yes, no, maybe, I don't know. Feel free to vote, okay? No harm in doing so. We have reached the end of the comments, which is good. Now we can move on to the more direct focus on Dylan Rounds and the latest post on Facebook. Let's begin. Here we are on the Find Dylan Rounds Facebook page, now known as Justice for Dylan Rounds. Got a few little posts here to do with in memory of Dylan, Dylan's legacy, the hashtag, just some custom designs, objects, items you see on screen, whether it be pebbles, stones, the sunflower design, Dylan's name too, Kenneth Cooley did leave a comment here saying it was beautiful, it was very nice. We scroll up, we've got some additional posts here by Candice Cooley herself. I believe those items are of Dylan Rounds maybe, or in memory of him. He's got a few farming posters. Just see what the comments are briefly. Okay. What's that? Jazzy saying, love how this picture truly captures exactly how you described his boots. Always has the same pair until they get worn out. Just shows how well you truly know your own son, and that the officials were wrong when they questioned you on how you knew he didn't just leave his boots there where they were found laying next to a dirt pile. I mean, yeah, I can understand that. I know not everyone will agree, though. There'll still be people out there that are a little bit wary and suspicious of Candice Cooley and / other people too, but, What else do we have here? Tina saying always regardless circumstances. Okay. Was this past generations people were better at work ethics and teenager only want to do their own thing and spend money, and Dylan was just the opposite, worked like crazy and earned everything, and the amount of time and energy he put into his success, he has so much to brag about because young men like that don't seem to exist anymore. They all want a job, pays awesome with no work involved, but Dylan, he did everything himself. He was independent far beyond people his age. Yeah, I guess that is true. And, you know, you look at it these days, just about everyone left, right and centre on OnlyFans all of a sudden. And that's about it. It's like, wow, look where it's gone. Let's move on. I'm so sorry. Send you all done. Love. I fully believe locating the waterlogged phone with retrievable video evidence is a miracle. I'm not religious, but I do believe it was Dylan's gift to you. He knew you needed to know. My heart breaks for Dylan. This thing, Candice Cooley does feel herself that it was Brenner that accidentally activated the video recording of Dylan's phone. Most likely Brenner in possession of Dylan's phone, because that video recording is after Dylan was taken out from the looks of it, right? So I could imagine Brenner picking up Dylan's phone, putting it in the trailer because that's where the video recording was, and activating the record button whilst he was getting on with stuff. The video recording was only 27 seconds long, which is very short, but more than enough evidence to show. All I want to know is, why was it only 27 seconds long? If the video was accidentally started by Brenner, it seems as if he quickly realised what he did for it to be only 27 seconds long, unless the phone itself died of low battery, so the video recorder ended as well. If not that, Brenner must have got a hold of the phone and stopped the video recording. But one thing it didn't stop him from doing was immediately going down to the pond, as it was hours later when he went down to the pond at about 2:51 p.m. to then dispose of it at Lucin Pond, and then I guess going on to Don Haley's barbecue. So most likely Brenner may have deleted that video recording, and that's why it probably wasn't traceable at first by the parents when they cloned Dylan's phone. But after a deep forensic dive into the phone and either corrupted files or deleted stuff, iCloud, wherever it may be, that's how they were able to find it, right? So it required a deeper delve, a deeper dive into Dylan's phone. It does make me think, if they could pull that out, despite the conditions it was in and where it was placed, then have they done a deep forensic dive into Jim Brenner's phone or Chase Venstra's phone or anyone else in between? Don Haley's phone? Probably not, because Don's still walking free. But you get what I'm saying? Yeah, you can get the phone pings and the timestamps, but whether it be video recordings, photos, screenshots, call logs, but deleted ones, you do a forensic dive on that, maybe you might find something else. Maybe the police have already done that with time, but I wouldn't know because it's not always talked about public. There we go. I like how it's a bit more responsive this time on the Facebook page. What we will do, if possible, I'll just hide a toolbar there just so it's a bit easier to read along. We got Karen saying, does anyone know if Brenner has/went to court yet? What did he plead? Most likely he would plead not guilty. He's been known to do that in the past. Lisa saying no, he hasn't. Candice Cooley saying his arraignment is April 24th. So that's when Brenner appears in court. April 24th. Okay? And it is coming slowly with time. Be interesting to see what happens at that point. Do any of you... Is it too soon to do a poll once again? I'm not quite sure. Let's do a poll anyway. Do you feel that April 24th, the date of Brenner court case, will it go underway or will it be delayed once again? What do you think? I can't make a prediction this time just because with Brenner now being, well, in recent time being charged, I don't know if that speeds up the process in doing a court case or not. Like before Brenner was officially charged and just seen as a suspect, it was kind of like any cases that do come forward as any trials, it's just delayed and delayed because maybe they're getting hold of additional evidence as well as trying to find Dylan. But because it seems more official now and action has been taken, does that fast track things, or is there still potential for dates being delayed and pushed back further? Let me know in the votes right now. Anything else? Hopefully someone will keep us updated on how he pleads, and if there is a link we can follow when he goes to trial, praying he confesses for your family's sake. Now, I don't know if it applies to all cases, but do you think that this trial will be live streamed or there'll be a video recording of it on YouTube? I know some people have reacted to court cases over time, whether it be the Johnny Depp Amber Heard one, and then also that the other recent to do with true crime case, what's it called, Alex something, can't fully remember, but yeah, some people have done those. But you know, I guess if you want updates regarding the court case and maybe the how he pleads, etc., maybe Lance Kelly from Earthworm Infotainment will provide updates there to an extent, and more so Glorin Dellin. She seems to be, you know, covering it when the cases do come about. So be on the lookout for Glorin Dellin's videos, okay? Anything else? Matilda, I have full hopes the searchers will eventually find Dylan. Donatello, oye Donatello. Candy's Cooley, thank you. That's not too long from now, true. I hope it'll be available to watch somewhere so we can all see Brenner squirm in his seat as the evidence of this evil is shown to the world. Continued prayers for Dylan, you and your family. Okay. I mean, if any of you would like to see some kind of analysis on that case, let me know. I could try and do it, but I don't know if there'll be copyright issues. Like, when you get these court cases, whether they be directly uploaded to certain channels on YouTube, those court case channels or news channels, if you was to use their footage and react to it, will you get copyright claims? Because as you know, I have used little bits of clips here and there and provided like credit links to the channels, but I guess with it being public information, you were able to use it, and as well, it was only short clips. But obviously, if you got a court case, how long is that going to be? Hours long? I don't know what the best way would be around it. I know, you know, that like the Zav Girl or maybe the No Thanks or Tyler Feller are probably the type to react to the court cases of different stuff, and maybe some other channels as well, which I've not listed. I've never really done it myself. I'm not quite sure the format or the best way of doing it. Like, if it turned out to be too messy or complex, I guess I could just break it down and do like little clips or little focus points on areas of interest where it might stand out. Take in mind, I'm not an expert when it comes to law, when it comes to court cases, right? I'm not an expert, so I don't know if it would be easy to follow or not, but maybe like body language, right? How he reacts to some of the evidence provided. Does he show any emotion or not? Maybe I'm better suited there. We'll just see what happens with time, of course, because if it is delayed, that's a possibility. Anything else on here? Hi, Candice. Is it possible that that snake of a man will attempt to plead for Dylan's location? Prayers and positive thoughts always sent your way. I hope they make his trial available on YouTube to follow. I want to see this piece of scum writhe in his seat. Bring on death row for him. Something slow and painful. Yeah, death row. So you're just waiting for it, but it may not always come. I get. Just back out of that. Okay. So we got a little bit of talk about Brenner, court case, and the date as well revealed, in case you weren't aware. April 24th. What do we have here? March, that's an old one. Candice Cooley, some farming stuff. I guess that's related to Dylan. You'll see a couple of these posts are kind of out of order when it comes to the dates when they're rearranged. It's kind of confusing that. Okay. Sorry for the jump skip. It's just skipping through some of the unnecessary stuff, I guess. 7th of April. We just see the comments here. We have heard about this, but we just see what people respond with. Susan saying, I just learned of the arrest, so went searching for the story. Some might feel an angel intervened to help the family find closure. Here's the part that caught my attention. How did that phone start recording? It has driven us crazy, Cooley told the outlet. I'm pretty sure when Brenner took the phone, he just hit the wrong button or had a wrong swipe and had no clue. Then it started. Yeah, likely. We've seen that article though. Let's just see the responses. Candice Cooley showing up. What does she say? If you watch the interviews in the featured tab, it explains what we believe happened, but we will never know for sure. Whatever made it record is a true miracle for us. So, to an extent, Candice Cooley is backtracking now on what she originally said. To a small extent, okay? Not 100%, but to a small extent, if you interpret it that way, right? Because previously she was saying how it was likely Brenner that accidentally hit the record button. Then Candice Cooley went on by saying how she's got some old iPhones. She was testing it with that, how you could accidentally swipe the screen up and it would instantly start a recording. So Dylan's got an old iPhone himself. So there's similarities there, and Brenner could have done it himself if Candice Cooley could. Okay? Anyway, what else do we have? That's what we needed, a miracle. Praying for more miracles. Yeah. Clarissa, I hope he's found. That's what this family needs, so he can either come home or have a proper goodbye. You ever need someone to talk to? Okay. Pat Farrell. Is Pat Farrell related to Bob Farrell? I don't know. Candice Cooley, just like the Alex Murdoch family, the son's phone recorded Alex's voice, proving Alex was at the scene when his wife and son were killed. Right, yeah, the Alex Murdoch. How do you say it? Murdoch? Or Murdoch? That's the one I was referring to earlier, the Alex one, regarding court cases, how people have been really analysing them in recent time. What else? It sounds like Dylan solved the mystery. Not really. His parents said in an interview that they had other models of the same phone. Yep. Rick, what's this? Pretty incredible phone recorded. Yep. He had no soul the moment he killed Dylan. His next stop is hell. It's also a blessing that information could be obtained from the phone that had been in the pond. True. Yeah, with the technology and getting around things. Yep. What's this one called? Charity. Swear he was seen with the boy they call Monkey. Michael in Wasu Walmart. I seen them. No one has looked into this. Called the hotlines to BS liars cover up big time. What? Danny says, looks like you watched too much YouTube, copied what he said and did give info to Ellie months ago. I don't know what any of that is about on screen. If anyone can provide a bit of clarity, a backstory, feel free to do so. I'm just confused. Let's move on. Okay, just get rid of that little tab. Driving through Boxelder. Yep. 29th of March, that's old. We've seen this one, recent, by Candice Cooley. Here's a new one. 6th of April, so more new. Slowly, I have been going through all of what I have always called Dylan's stash places. From his signs to pictures to old farm magazines, it always makes me smile how true of a farmer he was. His passion for farming was shown in everything he gathered. We saw those photos loosely posted beforehand, and this is a part of it, the caption. That explains it more. Dylan's possessions from the past, including the boots as well. Just briefly check the previous comments out. Continued prayers. Yeah. You have a gold mine of memories. True. Yeah, it's more just like sending support. That's why we're just briefly going through it. Oh, what's this one? Linda saying, can you tell us more about him if you are comfortable about it? We really care. Your son has a piece of each of our hearts. What was his favourite Christmas present? Okay. Okay, fair enough. What's this? Candice coolly responds, Dylan's favourite presents were always toys. When he was small, he had all the Little People farm set, every piece and two of lots. The first horse Justin Rounds and I got was named Trigger. We traded a Great Dane for it. Dylan loved that horse. He wasn't even two when we got it. Oh, Trigger. What, trigger like a gun trigger? Ooh, I see. I think that's Justin Rounds has posted as well, providing a photo, I guess, of Dylan standing next to the horse, I guess. Okay. Anything else? Candice, this is a great picture. I love it. Justin, it was hanging up in his room. The photo, I see. Okay. Julieta, it's just such a senseless tragedy. A young boy possibly hurt by old angry guy. Why? What were you really angry at? Your own life? You were unhappy, so you wanted to hurt a young boy with his entire life ahead of him. You could have helped him and be happy for his success. Be alongside to transform that valley. We as a society often focus on white young females as types of victims. We care. But here's this young kid who tried to do something awesome. It just feels so cruel to hurt him. Yeah, I heard that line being used previous about the focus on young females' victim cases, people gone missing, such as the Kylie Rodney case. How there seems to be more focus and more care on females that have gone missing compared to males. Maybe that's the case, or maybe it just only applies to the US. I'm not quite sure, but other people have referred to that as well. Nikki, this has been my thought process during this entire investigation. Pure jealousy and bitterness caused this crime. Now he'll have the rest of his life to sit in a cell and think about the things you mentioned that he should have done versus harming a young man with a promising future. Juliet, why such a downer comment? She was trying to share something beautiful and special to her. Shame on you for dragging up. Oh, okay. Bit of tension there. Well, I'm sorry if it was a downer comment and caused any hurt. It was not my intention. See, this is the thing. Whilst you can think Brenner being locked up and, in a small space is a good thing and it makes him suffer, from what Candice Cooley has said, that will not make him suffer. When he's around multiple people, that's what makes him, agitated, frustrated, uncomfortable. That is why the time when search and rescue, police and the family were all at the Grangeshed property, as when Brenner wanted everyone to move away because it was annoying him, right? He prefers being in a quiet area, right? So being in Weber County Jail at this moment in custody, it's quiet. You put in the general area, general population of prisoners, when you get to that point, if it did happen, then Brenner, it wouldn't be good for him and he would suffer more there. But then again, if he is surrounded by multiple people, he may suffer, but he may also act out, snap, and then that causes people to attack him and he might die. And then there's not as much justice then because he's instantly gone. And if you're still awaiting him to reveal the location of Dylan, you want to try and keep him alive as long as possible, right? So it's a bit of a balancing act. Anything else? He was a strong man with a passion towards Dylan, yeah. Prayers, yeah. I'm sure it's bittersweet, Candice, to the family by getting some resolve in Dylan's case. Yeah. No, yeah. Some long comments here. But most of this is just to do with in support and sharing, personal messages. So we don't really need to analyse here. Yeah. Right, so that's it for that one. You got a little update there. What else do we have above? 1 hour ago. 1 hour ago. I think this is to do with Easter time as well, of course, with the time it is. Is that it? let's just check this final comment out there. I wanted to say happy Easter to Justin and Kenny's Cooley. Some sunflowers. Dylan's parents. Okay, there we go. So, with all that being said, discussion time on Dylan Rounds, court case date of Brenner 2, a few questions here and there. If you have some yourself, list them down below in the comment section and share your own thoughts and points of view of all that. Now, what we are going to do, if you have just joined, welcome. Feel free to rewind back to the beginning if you want to hear about Dylan Rounds. But right now, what we are going to be talking about is the final thoughts on Salty Pancake's most recent outburst, okay? I want to share my genuine, serious thoughts and observations around him and maybe around some of his followers, okay? And there's a few other loose bits and bobs we can get into later. But basically, as a backstory to what's happened most recently, a couple of days ago now, is Pancakes did appear on panel during a live stream, several of them within the same day, on 28 Alice channel. Who is 28 Alice? Well, it's a female, the profile picture of their face, I don't know if it's been like zoomed in or something, because it's like really in your face, like, whoa, Jesus Christ, like that. And there's like a microphone that comes off an earpiece. I don't know if that's got anything to do with her job role. I don't know, that's not really important. But basically, it's like a Salty Pancakes supporter, viewer, but you could call them a second lieutenant, a right-hand man, left-hand man, in brackets, woman, kind of like how Kay Lee is as well. Two individuals that have orbited around Salty Pancakes throughout this time in support, in spreading awareness, in defending him, and also providing a platform, a secondary home if anything happened to his own channel, which of course it has evidently, you know. So Kaylee, 28 Alice have got their own YouTube accounts, just like everyone else does who simply comments on YouTube. You have to have a YouTube account to be able to comment in the first place. Vaughandis wasn't quite aware of that, but I'm sure she will be now. So this time round, a couple of days ago, it was Alice's turn, I guess, in hosting or inviting or allowing Pancakes on. And they were just doing like live streams, talking and talking. I think it was for quite some hours as well. Not quite the Shack Ladies numbers for like consecutive hours of streaming, but getting close to it. I guess they had a lot to talk about and get off their chest, more so Pancakes himself. Whilst he can do his live streams on Facebook, obviously it's not to a wider audience, maybe 60 to 90 people. But as for the YouTube side, that was over hundreds, like 300, 400, 500. But of course, it's not quite to that scale at this moment because of the downfall of Pancake's channel. So they're just working with what they've got, rebuilding, reconstructing, right? And so many people will follow and gather. And a couple of days ago, there's a handful of viewers. You had, I guess, Just Eddie, you had American Honey, you had It's Stony at one point, you had Kaylee, you had Alice, you had Pancakes himself, you had Vaughandis, I think, and then some other people in between. Obviously, can't remember everyone, but kind of like the regulars from his channel. It makes sense. And I don't know at what point everything was triggered, right? I'll be honest. The odd person in my chat, because I was doing my own live video premiere at the time, notified me about this live stream and the chaos that was going on or something. So I was like, oh, okay. Just to see what was going on, right? Out of interest. Got into the stream. I saw the Shack Lady pop up and I thought, oh, maybe I'll say hi directly to the Shack Lady. And that's what I did. And the moment I said hi to the Shack Lady, Pancakes, boom, lost it. Suddenly screeching, whining, whinging, moaning, getting into a bit of a tiff, throwing the toys out the pram, calling me out, calling me and accusing me of, you know, stuff like what I've shared with you in the screenshots. I'm not going to say them out personally with the words, because YouTube obviously won't approve of that certain stuff, but false allegations, false accusations and all of that. But he seems to do that with everyone, with what previous people have said, so it's not the end of the world there. One thing I do want to acknowledge, which maybe no one else has, is although Pancakes is acting out and being very erratic and a little bit childish and all the kinds of things in between, at least it's straight to the point, right? And in a sense, with him being a male and calling this person out and that person out for this and that, and making false allegations, it actually makes a change for a male to be making false allegations and claims. Kind of refreshing to see. And the more important point is, I can acknowledge and appreciate that when it's true behaviour, straight to the point, no BS, even if it's bad, even if it's negative, if it's straight to the point, I prefer that than all nicey and then stabbed in the back and bad things happening, right? Now, with Pancakes, I've not really been around him, I guess. So maybe it's a different story. Maybe other people out there that have supported him, a viewer or someone closer, and then something's backfired over time. You never know. But, you know, it's like 0 to 100, the way he suddenly changes in behaviour, right? But the correlation is Pancakes lashes out at the wrong people, maybe due to instabilities and trust issues, as well as added tension and pressure with what's going on in the background and current events that can psychologically, you know, obstruct and change the patterns and behaviour within the mind, the neural areas, right? So it's understandable to why Pancakes is a bit all over the place, a bit discombobulated, right? But I'm sure it will even out with time, unless there's more drama going on in the background, right? And that's what's fueling it, and then that's the catalyst, the trigger point to what's then impacting Salty Pancake's judgment and how he perceives people, right? The closest allies of Pancakes will obviously defend him, and he will obviously defend them. The ones who are on the outer side, though, the trust isn't quite there, or the understanding, so he's more likely to snap at those people. And as well, if viewers on his channel have broken away over time, and they may have formed allegiances with other channels out there, that's what's triggered Pancakes, and that feeling of betrayal, manipulated, stabbed in the back, right? And if things like that, maybe to a more extreme, intensified extent, cases, examples have happened way back in the past in real life, it may trigger previous things, right? So I don't feel it's the end of the world when Pancakes has a meltdown or when he directs it at me. Am I disappointed? No. Maybe people may think I should be, but I don't feel disappointed. I don't feel too much negative when Pancakes snaps or takes it out on me, just simply because my first impression and first encounter of Pancakes from day one back in 2022, around June/July, it was negative to begin with. Because he didn't know me, he was a smaller channel at the time, setting up, and he had at that point, early on, he had his strong, hardline audience, which may not always be a good thing, but to him it is. Strong, hardline audience, and it was a misunderstanding. I simply showed public comments from his video and the discussions from his community tab, all on YouTube, all public information, 100%, and he retaliated and was very pissed off by it. He was like, "Ooh, why are you doing this? Why are you stalking me?" Which maybe some people will say, well, that's rich coming from you, Pancakes, but I didn't see that at the time because I wasn't aware of all the stuff in the past, right? But he's saying, why are you stalking me? Why are you showing this? Why are you revealing that? And it's like, well, it's all public. It's all part of the discussion. It's all to do with Dylan Rounds. What's the harm? So he came into the comment section having a go at me of that video, and some of his bitch boy followers also came in as well. But I don't think the bitch boys, because they were female based off the username and I guess the profile picture. So yeah, they were retaliating as well and complaining, saying, oh, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Star Jasmine was one of the persons who was the problem coming on in like that. Star Jasmine. She may have changed her name with time, possibly. Was there anyone else? Yes, there was about like 2 to 3 other people. It was like a 4-on-1 situation in the comment section. I was able to calm it down eventually, and they all toddled off, right? And that was the end of that. And then for quite some time, it was calm. And at even one point, Salty Pancakes said himself directly to me in a public comment, Warlike Ref, you have VIP access to my material. That's what he said, word for word, okay? Is the comment still around? Maybe somewhere, but obviously you can't find it now because of his main account obviously being removed. So all the comments, all the videos and everything gets taken away, unfortunately. But I do remember the order of how things played out. So yeah, it was quiet for some time, and then eventually, whether it be through more misunderstanding or where the external stuff started kicking in, which then impacted his behaviour and how he perceives things, then he saw me as an enemy, and there was some kind of issue going on there, right? Yeah, whatever. And I just noted it down as just a little meltdown. That's all it is. It will wear off. He'll be back to normal a few days later. And that's kind of like how it was. Did he ever come back apologising? No, but, you know, I don't really demand or need an apology. So, you know, he did what he did. And it was on and off. It wasn't all the time. It was on and off. Though, of course, recent time intensified, much more frequent, much more consistent, erratic behaviour. But that's because of the seriousness of what's gone on. His channel's been taken away. You know, something like that event, that impact, the scale, it is going to annoy you in a way and aggravate things. But taking it out on the wrong people isn't exactly practical, because then that can lead to more additional problems. Because if you mess with the wrong person, it just adds more to your problems, right, down the line, and it could end bad. But let's put that aside. You heard me mention about the early days of my encounters with Pancakes to do with the comments, the video coverage on it, and Pancakes getting very defensive and resistant, right? That's what's happened again in recent time, okay? And there's been a bit of a misunderstanding, so it needs to be addressed right now. Of course, majority of the people here will know the situation and the coverage and the material that was shown, right? Most people will understand. But for people coming on in who are new, there's no harm in explaining the situation. And in general, if people will just want to spread the message, spread the clarity, feel free to do so. But basically, linking back to that live stream by Alice, 28 Alice, with Kaylee and Pancakes, I think it might have been in the comment section. I don't know if it was just Eddie spreading a bit of shit or somebody else stirring things, twisting the narrative, which isn't a surprise, to be honest, when it comes to certain people and their behaviours. But yeah, twisting the narrative, leading to a misunderstanding, leading to Pancakes, who was already erratic, who was already tensed, who was already paranoid, right? And maybe showing almost schizophrenic type symptoms. It was like a recipe for chaos. And I guess that's what led to his outburst as well, building up, bubbling with time. Where there was a few people in the chat and Kaylee started talking about it as well. Kaylee of all people, yeah. Saying how Warlike Raf was showing comments and names and on the Facebook page of Pancakes and all the other viewers and all this and that. And it's like, first of all, Facebook page of Pancakes is in public view. That goes along with the post, the captions, the photos, the comment section. It's all in public view. Anyone can see it, okay? The bit about going through the comments and saying, oh, that person's that person, that person's this person, simply because the profile picture literally matches the profile picture of on YouTube. With common sense, simple observation can be made like that. Anyone can do it, right? If it's not me, someone else will. It's not the end of the world, right? You think about the Find Dylan Rounds Facebook page, showing comments there, and Jazz Girlson said, could you possibly blur those areas out? And it's like, If it was very practical to do, then yes, but YouTube doesn't quite allow the blurring of multiple stuff. But the main point was the Find Dylan Brown's Facebook page was also public view. Everything mentioned there, all public, right? You see what I'm saying? You can't start complaining, whinging and whining when that is basically just shared, or you say reshared when it's already in public view. People are going to find it anytime, anywhere. People are going to find it eventually, okay? And as well, there'll be other people out there, other channels and external people that may go onto Facebook, but then they go deeper, then they go here, they go there, then they find mugshots, they find crime photos and this and that, and that's where it goes overboard, over the top, right? I mean, me personally, I was completely unaware for many, many months about this criminal past behaviour by certain individuals within the case, right? You know, you might have seen it in videos here and there, or on the odd forum page, or randomly posted, you know, in the YouTube videos. You know, the people that do mess about and start trolling one another. You got like a random mugshot photo of Kaylee, supposedly, whatever that was. Then you got the mugshot photo of Salty Pancakes, whatever his actual name is, I can't even remember. And then this person and that person, right? And it's like, where do people find this? Where do people find this? It clearly shows the lack of ability I have when it comes to that type of material. And it's evident, because at the end of the day, my focus is mainly on the Dylan Rounds case. Sure, it's true crime, criminal related stuff, and talking about news. But as for the criminal activity or past activity of others who maybe somehow tied up in the case, more so YouTubers, content creators, I've not looked into that because I didn't know of that to begin with, right? Where do you look? How do you look? Is it even important? Does it really matter? Someone like Pancakes or someone like Kaylee or someone else out there that may have a past criminal record or a past criminal history. Does it really affect the Dylan Rounds case? Maybe not, but what I will say is, if these people do have criminal tendencies, whether it be patterns of reoffending or just simple behaviour that led to a crime and that behaviour was never fully corrected, it could happen down that line. And if not that, just simple negative behaviour, certain personalities where you get on the wrong side of them, those tendencies pop back up and then they start coming towards you and impacting you in a negative way. I don't know. I'm sure people in the chat right now will know better than me when it comes to all this drama stuff. I don't really know that much, right? Same with when it comes to people's names. If I've been accused of revealing this name or revealing that person's name, no. The simple reality is, for most part of it, I don't even know who the fuck most people are called, to be honest, right? I see a username here on YouTube, I see a username there, right? You got Vaughandis whoever here, and then on Facebook, Vaughandis, same exact username. Wow. You got Salty Pancakes here, you got Salty Pancakes there. Wow, you see? But then other times you got people with completely random usernames switching and changing. So before I even become familiar and understand people's actual real full names, I don't even get to that point because I'm still trying to learn and remember all the bloody usernames on YouTube in which they keep switching and changing, and it's trying to keep up with them. Just like Bezoint. Of course, when I covered a video of it most recently about Bezoint, also known as Salty Pancakes alt account, he then changes it to Salty Pancakes Crew or something. So by changing the username, does that make a difference? It does, okay? I'll highlight one thing. For people in the chat right now, because I experienced it within the Kenny Veach case and community, in the past, from my experience, when I was dealing with harassment and unnecessary behaviour and possible threats, warnings, etc., and people using my content without consent and all of that, going against YouTube TOS, when I did report these accounts back then with those people, it wasn't that successful at first because the odd person was slippery. They constantly changed their username. by constantly changing their username, they avoided detection, avoided being reported, as they would then appearing under a different name. Just like how maybe during a hit and run, such as in GTA, you could drive down, run someone over, go into a garage, change your license plate, and then there you go. You're free. You don't get arrested. Maybe it doesn't quite work like that in real life all the time, but it's a possibility, right? Same applies to YouTube. You change your username, you kind of avoid punishment. So someone like Pancakes, if Pancakes does change his username, he may be able to avoid that, right? Though, in this case, he wasn't, because his channel got taken down, and so did the second one as well. But this Bezoint, this changed name as Salty3Pancak3s, is still up and active at this moment in time. So there's that. But yeah, just wanted to address those little bits of information and how it was portrayed. What I will say is now we need to transition onto the talk about the fan base, the following, right? At the end of the day, people can watch whatever they want and support whoever they want. You may get, and you've probably seen it yourself, right? I've not really seen it, but maybe some of you have, where you could be in a certain stream, you see these people just giving constant super chats over and over again, and you're thinking, wow, how much are they giving? Like constant amounts throughout a whole stream or throughout multiple streams, like $50, $200, $150, and it's like, wow, that's a lot. And then you may see them in a completely different stream and they do nothing, they give nothing, but that's only simply because of preference, right? That people have a choice to support whoever they want if they want to support at all, right? If it's natural, that's all that matters. Whoever it may be aimed towards, it doesn't matter. If it happens, it happens. That's all good. It's natural. Is it natural in this case? I'd say so to an extent. But in terms, put aside super chats, put aside the monetary part, in terms of conversations and discussions, whether it be about Dylan Rounds, Aidan Clune, certain claims, counterpoints, counter ideas, or just simple drama. Do viewers on Pancake's channel have free choice of what they believe in and what they agree with and disagree with? I'm not quite sure. I think maybe some viewers on here may have different thoughts. I've seen over time where people have said that there's almost like a hierarchical system. There's some kind of constraints, almost like people on Pancake's channel, some of them are enslaved, that they're too afraid to speak up. But maybe some of Pancake's viewers are worried if they do speak out or disagree with Pancakes, then Pancakes will out them and kick them out of the community. That may have already happened. If that has happened with anyone, if anyone here right now in the background or watching later has gone against Pancake's ideas, concepts, or the right-hand, left-hand man concepts, and have shown resistance, standing your own ground, and you have been negatively punished, impacted, hurt, harmed in any way or form, if you want to, feel free to share your thoughts and experiences down below in the comment section, right? Does it happen with Jim Terry's channel? I don't know. I guess because it's just like, have a conversation. If you want to insult me, and I'll do it back and forth, give and take on Jim Terry's channel, like when they do those call-ins. Maybe it's a bit more looser, right? Maybe it's not as tight or as restrictive, but at least on Pancake's channel, other people have acknowledged there's been a level, there's been an atmosphere, a presence of being too scared to go against the narrative of Pancakes, or too scared to speak out and share your own thoughts and opinions. And, you know, if you think about it, just as a general concept, right? Pancake's channel, maybe Jim Terry's channel, someone else's channel out there, whoever it may be. If these channels, the channel owner and / or some of the viewers are hardline and do retaliate back towards people who may go against them, whether it be revealing location, harassing, stalking, something to do with online activity, illegal based stuff, going against TOS, whatever it may be, making someone's life a misery, hell, just going after people, getting revenge. If that's what they're like and known for, then I can understand why a viewer who may get caught up in it all may not want to talk or speak out, because if they do, then that negative side to that channel owner, that negative side to whoever out there, that presence, that force, will then be redirected towards you. And obviously you wouldn't want that. So you might just keep your mouth shut, nod your head, and show compliance, right? This could be the thing. On certain channels out there, there might be several viewers that show compliance, laugh, nod their head, like that type of stuff, behaviour, but internalization does not take place. Though some of the hardline viewers, like Kathy Waters, she could be somewhat brainwashed, possibly, you never know. She could have shown internalization, basically a yes man, a yes person, in agreement, in support of what Pancakes does, in everything he says and does, that type of thing. If there's anyone else you feel that observation applies to, feel free to point it out, but in many in real life situations, and maybe as well portrayed on in movies or TV shows, you might get a key individual and then they've always got a spokesperson, a representative, or a hardline roster of people that support and will just stick with that individual right to the end, which is considered as a positive. It shows loyalty, but are they acting on a human level, or is it robotic? Robotic without really thinking and just going along with it? Is there some kind of psychological power imbalance, power dynamic situation in which there is a hierarchical structure and fear induced, in which if you do go against the majority that you'll be punished and outed for it and supposedly appear worse off down the line, and that prediction that might have been made with time, that if you do associate yourself with the wrong sort of people, you appear on the sinking ship, and that if you do allow people onto your own channel, that it almost becomes the part of when you allow them into your own house, now they own that house, they own that YouTube channel. And without them, you are nothing, that you struggle, that you are owned by them, that you rely on them and are dependent. That has happened with time in general on YouTube. And that is why I've not allowed it to happen here. People demand for interviews, people demand for call-ins, people demand for this and that. They will not penetrate the lines. And that's what leads to their frustration. And speaking of frustration, because of Pancakes, Salty Pancakes references over time about the lower parts of the human male anatomy, how it gets him excited, it gets him off, adrenaline kicking in, he wants to insert this into Ron Tello's back end, etc., etc. There seems to be a level of sexual frustration with Salty Pancakes. Some people could argue and say because he's not being satisfied enough by certain individuals. What I feel is it could be down to past experience in the past, whether it be in real life trauma, whether it be, you know, if he was in jail at some point. I don't know the whole story, but if he was in jail at some point, was it the drop the soap situation? I don't know. But, you know, when you see certain behaviour by people and there's a level of sexual frustration, it can link back to a past experience in life, the environment they were in back then, secondary forms or primary forms of socialization, right? Certain environment shaped his mind and how he acts, his attitude now, right? Maybe not in control of everything. Can't control all the factors, alters the perception, alters the mind, alters the body, the state, etc. And it leaves scars behind, okay? Maybe that's happened with Pancakes. And you've got these like little catalysts, these little trigger points in between, which kind of dig back up the past. That's a possibility, right? But even like the bit about the fake hair and maybe wanting to pull the hair and like, oh yeah, is there any link there on a genuine scale? As for Pancake's head of hair, he's got some form of hair, right? He probably would have had more in the past, but that's normal, okay? Is it because he wants the colour black? He could just dye his hair if he wanted to. But the concept, the area of conspiracies, which he seems to be deeply involved with, like what the other person said earlier on in this video in the comment section, that it can link to certain behavioural areas, personalities, right, that type of stuff. Maybe somewhere. Not going to go deep with that because I'm not really in that line of knowledge, but it wouldn't surprise me to an extent. But on a more basic level, if exposed to previous conspiracies or involved in other stuff in the past in which you learn or listened and looked up to someone, then that might be passed on to you, and then you start talking about conspiracies yourself, right? I mean, I've looked at conspiracies, I've listened to them, some are interesting, others are a bit wacky, but, you know, I don't get brainwashed by them, like how some people may, okay? You get brainwashed, you go down a dark line, you might end up getting confused, lost. When you finally pulled out of it all, you think, what the hell just happened, right? And, you know, in this case, maybe it has been negatively impacted and associated with the Dylan Rounds case, and maybe Aidan Clune as well. Now, I've not covered too much about Aidan Clune, but I wouldn't be surprised, and I'll do a prediction right now. If certain channels and certain people are still around to this day and later in the future, and if I do ever cover the Aidan Clune case and I do give an unpopular opinion or a counterpoint to a previous theory, it will probably lead to resistance. I noticed it within the Kenny Veach case, but that wasn't really on a drama scale. It was more so on breaking a sub-mystery down and debunking it. But obviously, clearly, some people didn't want that mystery shattered. They wanted it to remain a mystery and true, but it just wasn't the case there with one aspect. So people did show resistance, people did get a little bit snappy and all that. So maybe the same could happen here once again. If you debunk things or reason against theories and concepts, then that person may think, oh, you're undoing everything I've come up with and thought of, and then that can lead to resistance as well. It is unfortunate, but it can happen. And I know some people may say, oh, maybe you shouldn't have done the Dylan Rounds case after all the trouble it's caused. Personally, it's not really caused too much trouble. I guess in the early days, mid-range days, statistically, it was actually a positive by covering the Dylan Rounds case in comparison to Kenny Veach, though understandably the Kenny Veach videos in the background were still of importance and still active. Maybe not as much now, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. As with the Dylan Rounds case right now, yes, it is slowing down, but there is still things to cover and loose ends that need to be tied up. I don't like walking away from loose ends, right? It just feels a bit incomplete. So that's why they need to be filled in between, fill in the gaps, right, and the grey areas. As for others, though, other people will add into these grey areas and just add more confusion and disruption, which isn't a good thing, right? I mean, that's coming from me, coming from my channel that has talked about aliens, reptilians and all of that, and on the surface you hear that and you think, how can someone like him talk about that? Well, quite simple. I used appropriate wording and language and tied it with specific stuff material in the past, right? It was done in a controlled, balanced way. And did it lead to disruption of a case? No. It led to questioning. It led to either it being debunked or reinforced, and that is all. It can be done. You can talk about wacky things. You can talk about hard to believe stuff in the right way, and you reduce the resistance. But you know, not everyone can do that. Okay, Salty3Pancak3s clearly has demonstrated that himself. But yeah, I think that clears up the talk about maybe his viewers. He'll have hardline viewers that will stick with him to the end, but maybe those hardline people are somewhat brainwashed, possibly. I'm not saying it's 100%, but possibilities, certain signs showing. As for other people in the background, they may not speak up because they are frightened at the possible backlash that can, you know, happen, right? Now what we need to move on to is Pancake's mentality. He's got a winner's mentality, supposedly an elite, no quit, no die attitude. Okay, maybe it's his tree gang type behaviour. What do you call it? I don't know. I'll probably end up doing like weird cryptic signs like that. Yo, don't mess with me. I'm a bad boy. That's gonna be misinterpreted. I probably did all types of gang signs. I probably ordered the Crips and the Bloods to start some peace treaty or something and direct it elsewhere. I don't know. I probably controlled all these gangs out there to go and do all this now. Don't blame me. It's not my fault. I've got just ambidextrous hands. And as well, just randomly on the spot, I can kind of do a snake. Is it relevant right now? Well, it might be to some people. Snake in the grass. Something like that. My hands don't seem to be working as well this time. There you go. The snake. It's hard to do from that angle, but you get the idea. So, linking on to Pancake's current behaviour, in that live stream by 28 Alice, he was saying, I'm winning, man. I'm winning. That's all I'm doing. I'm a winner. I'm winning right now. Is that how his voice sounds? Sorry, let me make it a bit more realistic.
Yeah, man, I'm a winner. You know, there's all these people, petty-ass people in the chat just talking but not coming onto the panel. Even the Shack Lady, you know, the Shack Lady has balls to come onto this channel, unlike these other people. But, you know, we're going to allow people to come on this panel. Yeah, you know, we want people to talk. Stop hiding in the background. Come on, talk like a man and show yourself face to face. You know, you got to share these discussions. But, you know, once you do join on and we allow you to talk, we're going to cut you off quickly and then we're going to kick you off the channel. Yeah.
What was the point of that? Yeah, I noticed the Shack Lady did join on in to question and to talk, and then she was immediately booted off afterwards. Though, I guess she was allowed back on later. But I think Pancakes was long gone by then. But you see, you get called out for not appearing on the show, and then when you do appear on the show, you're censored or kicked off. How does that work? Not quite practical, is it? But Pancakes was saying, I'm still standing, I'm winning, I'm a winner. If you're winning, why have you lost? You see? If you're a winner, why have you lost your channel? You have lost subscribers. You have lost video material, possibly. You've lost comments. You've lost all those statistics that you've worked hard for. Maybe some people wouldn't agree with working hard for, but you know, how I perceive it at least. You've grown your channel, you've, you know, established it to an extent. You might have clothing lines left, right and centre, pants not included because you're still trying to work out the measurements for them. As we know, Willy Wonka's chocolate factory isn't quite performing as it used to. That could be interpreted out of context, but just random language left, right and centre. But it was used at one point, I believe. Willy Wonka's golden ticket, how not as much seems to excite him anymore. I don't know what he was exactly talking about, but if you look back in the past, it might add in. Maybe I think it was to do with ideas and concepts, like maybe some of the conspiracies that intrigue him more than the stuff maybe with Dylan Rounds. That could be the origins, possibly, to what he transformed into, because he wasn't all about conspiracies at first, but he was down the line. Maybe there was a turning point at some point. If anyone can acknowledge it, feel free to do so. But, you know, to say that you're winning and yet you're on a, what do you call it? If you can't have the first thing, you go for the second best. And that's like how it is. Pancakes with his main channel doing his live streams, that gets taken away. I'm a winner. Yeah, you're a winner on a second-hand channel with obviously much lower statistics. So in terms of awareness, it's not quite getting out there. Though, with time, I'm sure the channels will grow, right? He's been able to grow his channel very quickly. I guess maybe he has helped other channels as well, possibly. Correct me if I'm wrong. So maybe the same can happen once again, the whole rebuilding process. Someone like American Honey seems very optimistic, hopeful and positive for the recovery, the revival of Pancakes, etc. As for American Honey, on my channel at least, although maybe some of the viewers here don't approve of her, how she is towards me, at least from what I've seen, she's okay. She's a good individual. I know people won't agree with that, but at least from my experience, I don't know if opinions or behaviour has changed because of that misinformation, the slander towards me, you know. If someone like Pancakes accuses me of this or that, or the right hand, left hand man does, and kind of like, what do you call it, puts it out of proportion, and then the viewers just nod their heads or supposedly just go along with it, then that might change their perception of how they see me. Is it the end of the world? Not really. Is it a loss for me? Not really, because to be honest, right, people do come and go with time, people that watch my videos, right? So maybe eventually they'll go anyway, for whatever reason, if they move on to another case or move on to another channel, right? I mean, we have seen a surge in newer channels, usernames appearing on my channel right now, but I guess that's just because of the themes and the talking points of what we're talking about, right? And then once I start talking about other videos and moving on to other things, you probably won't see those people again, right? It's just natural, it is what it is, okay? But the whole winner's mentality with Pancakes, although you can say there's determination, there's grit, there's gumption, there's also a lack of delusionalism, right? Would you say delusion and grandeur? Maybe some people will agree with that. But I just say a little bit delusional in the fact that you've lost this, you've lost that, you may have lost some viewers over time with how you may have treated them and what you said to their face or behind their back. Not exactly a winner. Am I a winner? No. Like, an example of me being a failure would be FIFA 23 FUT Champs, football related. Will anyone pick up on that? Maybe Easy 90 will, because I think they have done FIFA videos, and maybe someone else here and there, and people in the background as well. Playing FIFA 23 FUT Champs, football game on PC, playing a tournament. I was 6 or 7 wins, 3 losses. I had to win 11. I was on a good track. Follow into the next day, I bottled it, I threw it all away, I failed miserably. Pathetic excuse of a performance, but I tried. I did everything I could. I gave it my all. I was tired by the end of it in here because I was focusing so much and I failed. It pissed me off. With the amount of practice and effort and the fact that I've been doing it since the age of 4, playing games, I've got experience, I should be good at it, and I do enjoy doing it, and yet I'm a failure. There's been times where I've come across people who casually play, people back then who may have been in university. I played against them in a different game and they dominated me. That is embarrassing. Time when I was in college and I played against a friend from college. I obviously played more than him and he decimated me every time. That's what you call failure, right? Not a winner. Being bad, failing at something you do regularly, which you should be good at because of the practice, the effort, and the mentality of liking it. And yet that doesn't seem to be the case. I was better in the past with gaming as a whole and I've decreased over time. And yet it's not through age because I'm young. So I don't know what the hell it is. But that's an example of failure, right? I'm not going to try and cover it up and say, I'm a winner. I keep on coming back. I'm a winner. I keep on trying. I'm a winner. No. Natural selection. Failed. Simple as. There's no way around it. Now, as for the YouTube element, can't quite comment on that because it's up and down, right? Just to focus on YouTube is spread awareness. If awareness is there, that's all that matters. Done. Okay? And just keep the consistencies, frequencies there. But obviously in Pancake's situation with what he's lost has been greater, okay? A little bit delusional, but I guess hopeful still. Realistic, probably not. Whether it be enemies he's created, formed, aggravated, or people that have just randomly gone after him. Obviously the more enemies you have, the harder it is to recover. There's that, and if there's like long-standing grudges and people that can't move on, then when you try to, you probably keep getting pulled back, chained, almost enslaved, right? Microcosm symbolism overall. I believe there was another line used, correct me if I'm wrong, along the lines of I'm a winner, I'm here, I'm talking, by Pancakes in that live stream. No one's confronted me coming face to face. You know, you're all scared, you're all weak. I'm in control, I'm the one in control, I'm the winner. How can you be in control of the situation when you react on such a nuclear level when an individual says hi to another viewer? Yeah, that's definitely not in control. When it resorts to a person throwing out insults after insults, accusations, false allegations, slander, defamation, and other bits in between, as well as swearing. The moment you start swearing all over the place in a serious tone and manner, you've instantly lost control of the argument, if there was one to begin with. And in this instance, it didn't even form, right? Because it was just in the chat. It wasn't even a one-on-one conversation or a one-on-one interview, and yet Pancakes lost his mind to begin with, acting out in an irrational way, acting in an idiosyncratic, bombastic, pathetic way. Not good. Disappointing, maybe to some people. To be expected by me from how I saw him at the beginning, first-time impressions, right? Obviously, you can be cautious, you can be wary of people, but acting out to that degree, and people can obviously throw in the excuse of, yeah, but it's what he's going through at the time with the YouTube and the drama. Maybe, but I saw it firsthand when all that drama did not exist at the beginning and he still acted that way, okay? So it needs to be acknowledged at least. You know, it should be interesting to see. I don't know if anyone has done. And it doesn't have to be Pancakes. It could be any channel out there, okay? Where there might be a stranglehold, where there might be a level of control in general. Have any viewers ever spoken out and said, yeah, to be honest, this person I listen to, watch and look up to can act like a prat at times, but, you know, end of the day, they mean well. Has that ever been said by anyone? Or has it just been positivity, 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 never talk bad about someone, right? I mean, not quite on the same level, but there's been people with time on my channel that may have said something like, oh, you know, I don't agree with what you say at times, but, you know, I appreciate your coverage on the case. Or some people say, I don't quite understand why you act that way or why you say this or do these other random bits and bobs in between. I don't see how it's relevant. But that aside, I still acknowledge that you provide the information on what is important, right? Showing a positive and a negative, a criticism and a praise. That's fine, that's normal, that's good. But maybe it doesn't apply on other channels, and that might be what the issue is. If the negatives aren't addressed, if the criticisms aren't raised towards the channel owner, that channel owner may never feel like they're doing anything ever wrong, right? But if you've got someone close to him that says, hey, you need to calm it down, you need to tone it down, you probably need to change for that reason or do this, then it might tap into the mind, right? You need some kind of neural penetration, right, to tap in. If a stranger or a nobody goes up to someone like Pancakes and says, you need to change your ways, you need to change your attitude, you need to simmer down a little bit, Pancakes is definitely, or most likely, not going to listen and think, who the hell do you think you are? And then start name calling. But if a long-time viewer or supporter, or more so, someone much closer in real life says, hey, you need to change, maybe they may listen more, right? Just these little observations to point out with time. Will we get any resistance from this video? I don't know. Will whoever respond to it or react? I don't know. But everyone in the chat, because this is to an extent a serious video and a psychological coverage, make sure to share this video. Everyone in the chat, everyone in the background and people lurking, feel free to spread awareness of this video and coverage, because this could be arguably some form of balance which has never been issued or explained before by other people regarding certain channels, okay? So with that all being aside, I think it's now to address the conspiracies, don't you think? I mean, of course it can get very out there and very wild. You know, just a simple individual making videos in a room, and yet it can be twisted, manipulated, that there are darker things going on more than what meets the eye, right? I mean, does anything honestly look odd to you right now? Because in my mind, and I think it's quite clearly evident that it's all normal, fine, open as usual, normal business, nothing strange to see here, nothing out of the ordinary. You don't need to worry at all. Isn't that right? Exactly. Now, one of the key talks and talking points which has gone on for a long time now is the debate about the fake hair, the wig. Pancake's still in denial with that. Rontello, as said, keep your hair on, make sure he doesn't get too close or he may end up tugging it to see if it's real or not. Maybe the counter conspiracy could be maybe Pancakes is known for lurking around down dark alleyways and streets, waiting for passerbys, mainly males, to give a quick little tug from behind, the hair I mean, to see if it's real or not. Maybe that's the form of activity people get up to here and now. Who knows? But, you know, some people say that I'm an emperor or something. Don't know quite sure where that came from, but, you know, it is what it is. I guess the emperor has, I guess, not been a Julius Caesar situation. I mean, you could use concepts of past history almost reforming itself once again, okay? You look at Julius Caesar, stabbed in the back by other people, power taken over. Could you say that's happened with Pancakes? A Julius Caesar situation? Maybe. I say I'm not quite an expert when it comes to Rome and everything, okay? But who's this individual? Not quite sure. It could be a frog, it could be a snake. I'm sure you can, you know, explain it in the background. But I think what we really need is Pancakes himself. And just give me 1 second, I can get him. Just give me 1 second. There we go, Pancakes. Obviously not really in the mood for talking, but basically we've got SpongeBob Soggy Pants, okay? There's SpongeBob Soggy Pants with his little underpants on. There you go, okay? So obviously I've tried having a conversation with you in the past and you're a bit petty, a bit problematic, not quite, you know, explaining the situation or scenario. You seem a bit cleaner this time round, so that's something at least. So I was going to say head like a potato, but this is more like a blockhead. You know, you're probably going for more of a Robert Aviles thick neck style Lego Rubik's Cube type head. Yeah. I mean, all these people seem to have different characteristics. You've got Scott Wadsworth, Mr. Montello Giraffe, escaped from Waddle Zoo in Utah. You've got Pancakes left down in the pond too long, a bloated face, because genuinely that's what can happen when you do get bodies appearing in water face down. They become bloated because obviously absorbing the water, and the face can be impacted as well. Though what I would say, for a very whiny individual like Pancakes, he's got a small mouth, from as we've seen with those thumbnails, right? Such a small mouth. It's like a chipmunk, with the cheeks being quite full in the area, but the mouth being quite tightly shut. It's like a chipmunk. Nuts shoved in the mouth, unable to really say much. But, you know, that aside. Pancakes, we're going to get back to you in a second, because I know, you know, you're getting a bit excited already. Look at that look on your face. I think you heard the word conspiracies. It excites you, right? It makes things erect. Probably shouldn't be holding you then. Sanitize myself afterwards. But let me just take this off for a second, because it gets a little bit warm, okay? So whether I'm going for the Weedleby look and the headband, which has also been borrowed, also known as stealed by Betty Hayward and her endless headband collection. Yeah, I'm not even forgetting Betty Hayward. Yeah, Betty, let's not be petty, Hayward. With an endless band supply. Amazing. Or I could be considered that I look more like Brookie at times, but, you know, that's another rabbit hole to get down. The frog can remain for now. But this is the thing. Aside from the hair, I've been accused of being a fake. I've also been accused of being a crisis actor, supposedly. But more so, I've been accused of having a fake voice. Okay? A fake accent that... I don't have an English accent. I don't have a UK voice, whatever you want to call it, that I'm from elsewhere. Where's that? You know, am I some kind of Mr. X talent agency contestant? I don't know, auditioned or something? I don't know, maybe that's for you to work out yourself. But I tell you something, Mr. Salty Pancakes. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you, fella. But you're a fucking idiot when it comes to accusing me of these fake accents. You know, what is next? You're going to be conspiring, accusing me of being a part of the IRA. The only thing I'm a part of is the Leprechaun Gang. And go about stealing all the little parts of gold. Yeah, top of the morning. Unfortunately, I don't appear to be in green this time, but I got my little friend right here. This little friend, not quite a leprechaun, but, you know, he hops about. He hops about, and that's what matters. It's all about the effort, matey. That's what it's all about. You talk about your mentality, Salty Pancakes, talking about the tree, or the 33 mentality. It's fantastic, but, you know, it's just not my thing, you know. When the time gets very hot, when the time gets very hot, what are we supposed to do, yeah? You know, you keep talking about all the male anatomy from the down under. You know, I'm working the way up. You know, what else you want to talk about? You got all the people in the background talking about the dog with the 1488 symbol tattoo upon the leg. Oh my God. You know, what we're going to do? We got to get into the bunker right now. We need to get into the bunker right now. Why am I turning into Arnold? I don't know, but I know that I can do a better Arnold impression than Doug can. And still to this day, it's not been understood. In times like this, when the pressure comes, we need to demand for the chopper to come. Where's the chopper? I really don't know, but I tell you something, Mr. Salty Pancakes. You're a very naughty little boy. You're like right naughty little bastard at times. Oh my bloody goodness gracious me. You know, I think you need a curry in a hurry. Namaste. You do have a curry in a hurry. That will be very good for your health. Very beneficial. And maybe it would make you feel a little bit calmer. You need calm in your life. If you don't have calm, you'll be very tense. I know you reach out to all the people in the background, some people from India, all the different languages, all the different countries. You get people to advertise your channel. That is very good. You must be healthy. Nice, even grow. There is a time in the past where some Indian people did reach out to me and said that they want me to be promoted. But I thought, no, I did very good. It's all under control. Do not fucking underestimate you, dirty little bastard. No, you do not do that to me. No. I tell you something, mister. Oh, my throat is a little bit warm by now. But I'll tell you something. You look like a man who needs a whole pork bun. If you don't have a whole pork bun, you're not a whole man. Think about Mr. Wei Shen. Mr. Wei Shen. HKPD incoming. Coming for all the ways and the triads of the gangs out there. He's been doubled down so many times. He's been locked away. He's been accused of this and that. He's had to try and fight against the crime. It's very difficult. It's really not good. You understand? Long time no see, long life, long noodles. Maybe if you go down to Utah, because funny man. Oh, you're such a funny man. You're from Utah. What a mind fuck that is. Why not check the Chinese restaurants out in the area? I'm sure that will calm you down, Mr. Pancake. I actually seen the menus myself, and they're very good. A very nice price. I'll tell you what's a very nice price for a very good price. You go down to the, oh my God. Yeah, you go down to the, oh my God. Sorry, Kaylee. I just had to steal your limelight. I'm sorry, girl. Kaylee. I hope you can forgive me. Yeah. I know, Kaylee. You got a little giggle when you, a little jump and step to your actions. Oh my God, you can clearly see that I'm really breathless by it. I can't quite give out the words to really express my emotions. That's why sometimes we do art. We do some kind of artistic styles of coverage to really express ourselves. Because if we down, we're gonna bubble down. It's not gonna be really good. We're gonna erupt like a volcano, and you really want a volcano? Because that's what clearly happened with Salty Pancakes. Oh my God. You know, you just eased things out, took a little self-care, millennial entitled attitude, man, and take some time out. I'm sure I'd be able to calm things down. But as you know, things like to get really rough. And when it gets rough, my God, you don't see nothing yet. Yeah, don't worry. I saw that goddamn white old flying right past me. He went right behind me. I don't know what he's trying to do, mister. And it looks like someone right behind me. You alright, mister? You don't look alright. Seems to be some hand hanging around above. Well, I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of it. Speaking of roughness, this voice can be a little bit rough at times. We've been riding that horse all day, all night long. My God, it's not good. Maybe we should be going down to Tahiti. But don't worry, God be fine, Lenny.
Oh, where Lenny is, goddamn idiot. Probably got jailed, probably got caught out. Not quite good behavior, always getting in trouble. Isn't that right, Pancakes? Getting in trouble. You a goddamn son of a bitch. What are you trying to do, fool? It ain't gonna work right here. This YouTube channel is big enough for the both of us. I'm being serious right there, man. My God. What's next? Gonna be challenging me a goddamn duel? A duel at high noon? Well, you do it at high noon, my boy. You do it in the way. You come down to me, moi. We got the tricky bricky in the background. This DJ says it's absolute shit the performance, my man. No Jamaican tracks. What a disaster it is. And some people in the chat accusing me of the dreadlocks. You gonna accuse me of cultural appropriation, my boy. You come and do that right now. If you come and do that, my boy, we put the Bobby on ya. Yeah, man. You come down into the deep. You see, I am telling you right now. You come down to the deep. You're going to try and conspire against me. We're going to have serious appropriation. There will be repercussions. You do not understand. You do not understand the problems that can cause and arise from this. You try to cause trouble, trouble will come back to you, you know. Maybe Idi Amin Dada is not around no more, but what we do have is endless supplies of psychological warfare and advanced technology. Something that maybe you have yourself, so you must understand how it can be used digitally and physically. If you don't understand, then I'm afraid you have lost your visa. My name is Trevor. I've been going across the ways. I've been trying to be shown the way. I've been accused of why am I running? Why am I gay? Why am I running? I don't know no more. I just lost my passport. I've lost my visa. I need to go somewhere. I need a home. Can someone give me a home? I need hope. Is Wanda in Uganda present? Wanda said she will adopt me. That sounds a very great proposition. And it's very interesting. All kinds of explorations can take place. And when it comes to explorations, Salty3Pancak3s, my senjudo, what are you trying to do? Trying to attack in some serious manner? It's not going to work. When you learn the odds of the modern way side, you can't even understand what I'm saying. That's the thing. When we talk like this, our mouth moves faster than the way our voice talks. Look at Stony. Stony's fucking mouth moves quicker than her voice. I cannot understand what she say. Why not? I'll tell you something about Chinese restaurants and those Japanese ones. When reading out those menus, it does work out a lot better, okay? You can get some of the words out better and it's just a lot cleaner, okay? And speaking of the restaurants, the last time I did some kind of Italian accent, it probably not too long ago, it probably early on in this video when we had the Donatello, we had Caterina in the background as well. We got this Stony somewhere reviving from the dead as the channel's been shut down. Mamma mia, what a shame. Where's Mr. Canada? I hope she's in the background. Maybe she will pop in. I'm sure there'll be people that will pop in at the wrong time and wonder what the fuck is going on. But that's not my problem. You rewind back to the beginning and you will understand the providence of all of this. My God, it's a very tiring thing, you know. I don't know how long we can go on for, but I'm sure by now, Salty3Pancak3s is discombobulated by all the different accents of what I'm doing. But don't worry, Monsieur Magnifique, je suis fatigué. Yes, petit bois. You know, I noticed that Joseph decided to come into the room. Josephina, in the past, mademoiselle, he was trying to look for a baguette. We could not find it, but maybe Salty3Pancak3s, the way he talks about all kinds of dodgy stuff. I'm sure Joseph may be satisfied by that. But you try taking it, horrible. You eat too much salt upon it. You get too much salt upon it, it would not work. You put too much salt upon it, it's just a complete disaster. Yes, здравствуйте, ми дорога, которую сейчас построю Поблизия. Russia to Russia Revestavi, suka. You'll see Salty3Pancak3s is not just Ivo Zadovsky that probably could escape from the KGB. I'm sure you probably could do a good job as well. I'm sure you probably be able to bury your head like an ostrich in field. Just like a potato. You know, when you get the potato rammed into the ground, they're going to really notice much. They'll probably walk past and think, what the fuck is that? This stupid bitch.
It's just one of those things. Well, I'll tell you something. When I'm doing this Russian accent, there was one time they came across someone online. There was some girl confused that they did not understand where I was from. They thought I was really from Russia. By the end of it, they was asking me, what is the schooling like in Russia? How the fuck would I know when I'm not from Russia? But instead, maybe I'm from Birmingham. I can't believe you just done that. Oh my god, I can't believe you're acting this tone of voice. It's really disappointing, you know. I really am confused at this point, and I'm sure there'll be a few other people that will be wondering what the hell you do with this accent. I've never really heard of it before. There's probably good reasons for that. You know, when I try and talk like this, I sound a bit of a piss pot. I sound like I don't really know what I'm talking about. But with the little twang of the voice, which then translates into a fucking Australian, mate, you fucking little cunt fucker. What are you talking about, mate? Where's fucking Andrew Culver, mate? Not from Australia, but never mind. Close enough. Close enough to get bit by a kangaroo that ends up swimming across the ocean, mate. Don't worry, I've been researching right into that. Andrew Culver, Andrew not Wombat Culver, mate. Now where's fucking Wrangle? Wrangle, where you at, mate? Right, crikey. I'm glad you come up. Fucking Wrangle already got a barbecue lit up. Don't worry, Wrangle. You know, you gotta be careful, mate. You might get fucking, what's the fucking name now, mate? Oh, right. Fucking underpants down under. Get the undies out. No, sorry. Got the wrong name. Little slip of the tongue, mate. A little Australian Karen. You know what I'm talking about. Mama down under. Right, all like Rolf. I don't quite understand what you're trying to do here, mate. You know, I really disprove what you're trying to say. I actually think that you're really rude in what you do and your actual approach in the case. I'm going to be reporting you. You don't worry, like Ralph, I'm going to be seeing your manager and I'll be really having it out with him. But this is the thing, you start having it out with the manager. Who is the manager at the end of the day? Maybe things might get a little bit hairy. If things get a little bit hairy, you might be dealing with, hello, this is Gorilla Jack. Yes. I noticed there's been a lot of drama recently. Yes. I really don't know what's going on no more. Yes. You know, I've been dealing with all kinds of things in the background, including Whittleby. Whittleby has been very desperate for the whips. And as you know, Gorilla Jack has a whip in his hand. And this came from Warlike Raph. Yes. And I've not given it back because he does not deserve it. He already has a big whip already. I just thought it would be nice to have one in my own personal collection. Yes. So, if anyone wants a nice little whipping from Gorilla Jackie, then make sure to step on in.
Oh, what's that? Sorry, did someone just say a whip? My God. Yes, it's me, Melody. I sound like a crow. My God. My throat has seen better days, but as you know, my throat receives a lot of action. I've got more reflex than a crow does when it goes backwards. Whoa! I'm even turning a little bit red. It's not the first time I've turned red. The last time I inserted that thing upon my nose, it was terrible. My God. But you know what? My little buddy boy, Jim Terry, is present right now, and Mr. X to save the day. Oh, what do I do without them? You know, at least there's always alternatives, unlike Mr. Pancakes. What a shame.
But I'll tell you something. Yes, I have got a little bit hot. Oh well, it is what it is. But what about Pancakes himself? Mr. Pancakes? You know what time it is. Oh, Mr. Pancakes, it looks like we've come to that road once again. You know, with time, the whip has been established. That is right. And you know, it's used to maintain a form of control and order. But some people wish for it for other reasons. Now, Mr. Pancakes, what's your reason? Do explain. Feel free. And a few people that have been a lot of talk, it'll be interesting to see if they can continue all that talk when this is introduced. As it slowly brushes against the skin upon them, they feel the heat, the warm sensation. Mr. Pancakes, you're gonna experience it right now. Sit back, relax, because there's not much you can do about it anyway.
You see, this is the thing. This is the way of life. You do not understand what I'm trying to say, my boy. Mr. Pancakes, what is wrong with you? Why are you such a whiny individual? Why are you confusing the whole situation? You know, we ask for the direction. We ask, show me the way. Show me the way. You can't even do that no more. You got no channel. You got no potato to step upon. You got no leg to step on. What is the purpose of this? What is the purpose of this? I strike you with judgment. I strike you with Christ. I strike you in the name of realistic appropriation. You are disappointment. You are in embarrassment. I strike you one more time in the name of Jesus Christ. Fire over your body. Come back. Come up, my boy. You are not going anywhere, Mr. Pancakes. You will stay where you are. Turn around. This is not the first time. I remember that grain shed situation. People constantly talking about going around the back. It looks like we are revisiting it right now. I am sorry for any PTSD flashbacks, but you know, needs must. Come back here, my boy. Get back over there. Smack your bottom. Smack your bottom. This is how discipline should be formed. My boy, you feel that? You enjoy that? I bet you're getting off from it. You what a sick mind this individual has. He is getting off from it, as you can clearly see. As you can see, the thing is working. The thing is the pattern. Strike you down. Strike you down. Come on, my boy. You feel that beating. You feel it, my boy. You feel it burning. You're burning, my boy. Come on, my boy. Yeah, you're going to the zoo. You're not going out. Yes, you go. Oh, yeah. Come on, my boy. Yeah, you feel the burn. You feel the burn. You feel it. It's like down Judgment J. No need for Bob Larson. No need for TB Emmanuel Joshua TB, because the whip is doing the job right now.
Welcome if you have suddenly joined. You may be very confused as to what's happening, and to be honest, I really don't blame you. But there was one individual recently in the chat that said, it looks like your dodginess has been toppled, scaled by competition. We cannot allow that. No. We cannot allow that. And that's why this is necessary. And if anyone has joined right now, what this is an artistic impression demonstrating the struggles of reality, life, and the cycle on YouTube. Almost like an animalistic evolutionary pattern, some kind of hierarchical structure of the animal kingdom, okay? Highlighting the tensions, the stress, the obstacles we come across as content creators, and trying to find ways and means of avoiding it, you know? And bringing ourselves back to revive ourselves and bring us up back to scratch, back to the Earth's surface. But in this case,
he will be not going to the surface. He'll be going to the pit in the name of Jesus. Come on to the pit. Jesus. I'm sorry, but it needed to be done. And you know what? For extra cautionary, take the whip. Take the whip. We are done.
So I think we will conclude there. If you have any questions, which I feel you probably will do, which is fine, list down below. But if you have any genuine points, any genuine stories to share, realistic, serious ones, list it down below. And anything talk about Dylan Rounds, make sure to list that as well down below. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and/or was able to follow along and understand and learn something new, whether it be a perspective on pancakes or just the current talk of Dylan Rounds and where things are at there. So, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Goodbye and good night for now.